And a happy Monday, everybody. We are officially in Super Bowl week. This is Plug Talk Sports live show, episode 126. We got the usual gang here, myself, Danny Torres. We got Jonathan Don't Stop, and we've got Brandon in the house. Brandon had a week off yesterday, but he is back. We missed his face. And I'm loving the hoodie today.
Yeah, I mean, kid you not, just came off the shifts, working multiple jobs out here. So
great, the grind.
Yeah, believe it or not, your eyes are not deceiving you. It does say Dick's. It does say Dick's. Not Dick's Sporting Goods, but Dick Mondale's in Gainesville. So, but yeah, I just got off the shift, ready to go cook some good take.
And let me tell you, if you guys don't follow Brandon on Instagram, guy put some good stuff on his story. The guy was I just laughed to myself when I saw it. The guy got very excited with another Flanagan's opening up.
Yeah. Hollywood, man. I mean, again, it's bound to happen. It was bound to happen. So.
Hey, Flanagan's hits the spot.
Yeah, man. It's the staple. The staple. If you don't have this in your household, you're not from South Florida, or you might just be revoked your South Floridian citizenship. Kid you not.
Funny story. I actually have a friend I was talking to last night that he wants to take. He's engaged, getting married soon. He wants to take engagement or wedding photos inside the Flanagan with the green cup. So I was like, man, she wasn't a big fan of it, but obviously us guys were like, yeah. I like the idea.
You know the vibe.
All right, so let's get into Jonka. We did good. Yeah, let's go for bad. Brandon, lead us off. Anything bad in the past week?
I mean, definitely. I think for one would be my work schedule recently. For those who do not know, I mean, obviously that's the way we started this podcast. I just coming off of straight work. It's like work, school. And then we got more work after that. It's like, and every single day I'm picking up different shifts, paying that rent, making do, right? Podcasting and writing is not the most luxury of paychecks, but, we're making it work. So it's definitely been my work schedule recently. Definitely building up, I would have to say.
Jonka?
Bad. I don't know if we're going to be talking about this later in the show, but it's gonna have to be the damn Marlins still.
We are gonna be touching upon it, so don't get too in detail.
Well, I'm gonna save my emotions for later.
Just keep
I'm just a bit agitated on this damn team. Okay, I just let you know, foreshadowing.
So mine has gonna be that Taylor Swift won another damn album of the year. That's now 4 albums of the year. I have to agree with Jay-Z, what he said last night in the Grammys. If you guys didn't see it, Jay-Z said, he was talking about his wife, Beyonce. How can you have the most Grammys and not have one album of the year? It doesn't make sense. He's got a point. I agree with him. He's got a point. And then he was honest. I think he was having a Kanye moment, to be honest. He was like, Jay-Z says, there's some of you that are going to win tonight. Congratulations. There's some of you that are going to win that don't deserve to win. That don't even deserve to be in the category. I was like, okay, Jay-Z's expressing his emotions. Even Drake Drake wasn't even there, but Drake said out on social media, he was like, yeah, I mean, these awards don't mean anything because it's based off a group of people that are not named. Pretty much a popular opinion thing. So he was like, it doesn't really matter. And I kind of agree with him. I think it's getting worse by the years. It's just baffles your mind of these winners of not taking away anything from them, but like you're like, how did you win that? So that has to be. I think the Grammys in general was my bad. But let's go to lighter news. Good, Brandon. Anything good?
Well, I mean, I just might have to pull and switch up the tables a little bit. The best news of the week: Taylor Swift winning it at the Grammys. Time, Woman of the Year, Person of the Year. Her lucky number is number 13. Number 13 might have a loss, I'd rather say, on Sunday. She might get proposed on the field. I know we're going to go talk about it later on, but honestly, it's the Era Tour. It's her era. New album coming up on April 19th. I'm full throttle on this. Honestly, I'm too far over the hedge right now on Taylor Swift mania right now. I mean, I'm not going to say anything negative about Beyonce, right? Love Beyonce. Who doesn't love Beyonce, right? All the single ladies, right? But has she ever had a good album? I mean, a lot of great songs, but ever a good album? I don't know. So, and again, I'm not going to go too deep into the Grammys, right? Don Toliver didn't really win anything. I didn't see Ozuna come out of nowhere or Bad Bunny come out of nowhere, so nothing too good there. But besides that, you got to love to see Tay-Tay win a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to switch a little bit.
I don't have the energy to have a take on that. Donka, if you want to handle to all that, he just said you can,
No,
or you can just say you're good. I don't know.
Like we all know that award was paid for. Like, come on.
It was a good one. I mean, come on. She was literally having the year, though.
I'm sure
Can you name me the name of the album? Exactly. There you go. Because I don't know it.
Hey, man, I just tell you, we'll talk about it in this first topic, but I just know, man, something Sunday is probably going to happen, and, it's going to be all about her and Usher. No one really gives a crap about Usher performing at halftime anymore.
Yeah.
That's if she's there, because she's going to be in Japan on a tour. So
she's going to be there, Jonka. There's no way she's missing that.
Oh, well, hold on. Wait, here's the thing, though, because Kelsey wasn't there for her award, so it's like, you know what I mean? Is that going to be like kind of the stepping stone? Like, because you missed this, I'll miss that type of thing.
I don't think so. I don't think she'll miss the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But Jonka, go ahead with your good.
My good, man, I don't know. I mean, if I had a kind of like week, good.
Bro, it doesn't even have to be about your life. It can be anything you saw.
I guess Steph Curry hit 60, even though he lost, but he hit 60. The guy, I think the last 6 games, he's been averaging almost 40 a game. So, guy's on a tear right now. So, shout out Curry.
Okay. I got a shout out. My good is going to be athlete Audrey Jennings from Barry University. She hit 1,000 career points in the Barry Buccaneer uniform. So just want to shout her out. Congrats to her. She's really lead scorer on the team. She's a baller. Jonka has seen her play. She is literally a baller straight out of North Carolina. Man, it's just, I don't even know. Like, she's just crafty. She is crafty. She's a hard worker on the court, and she's averaging right now. She's averaging 25 a game. So that's pretty impressive. So congrats to Audrey. 1,000. That's not easy, man. 1,000 in college hoops. It's not easy. So congrats to Audrey Jennings on reaching that accomplishment. Anyways, we're time to get into our first topic, and it's gonna be other than the Super Bowl. We are in Super Bowl week. It's this Sunday from Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. If you guys don't know, it's a pretty smart idea. Both teams are staying in hotels on Lake Las Vegas, which is a couple miles actually away from the Strip of Las Vegas. Probably smart. You don't want your players in all that atmosphere, on the Strip of Las Vegas. And, honestly, a lot of events were like that. A lot of the F1 drivers, when F1 was in Las Vegas, they stayed in houses, and they didn't stay in houses way off of the Strip, and they just came into the Strip of Las Vegas whenever they needed to for their events. So it's less distraction. But it is the Kansas City Chiefs from the AFC, and we got the San Francisco 49ers representing the NFC. Now, here's my take. I don't like either team, to be honest with you. It's not a Super Bowl where I'm like, okay, I kind of, I don't mind this team, but I'll root for them. I don't like either team in this Super Bowl, but my mind is telling me that the Kansas City Chiefs will be back-to-back champions of the NFL. I think Patrick Mahomes will outplay Brock Purdy. I think that Andy Reid has been in this position before. Well, Coach Shanahan. Obviously, San Francisco has a pretty impressive defense. But again, Casey's been here before. And, I start thinking if San Francisco doesn't get it done, is it time to blow it up? Because, they've been getting close and close and close, but they just can't get the deal done. They can't, seal the deal. But personally, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are gonna repeat and be back-to-back champions.
Yeah, I would definitely second that part there. For Kansas City themselves, not saying they've been that team throughout the entire regular season, but they've definitely had that image around them, right? That they're going to make it to the postseason. They're going to be a team to look out in the postseason. And, for a lot of the takes I had in previous podcast episodes, I'm not a Brock Purdy guy. I really didn't believe he would get this far. I didn't believe San Fran would get this far, even though, yes, in just about every single game this season. And I also do believe they're also favorites going into the Super Bowl Sunday. But what I would say is this, though, is a lot of this the team and not only the offense that San Francisco has. We talk about the defensive side of things. The D-line itself is going to be one of the best pieces that are going to be seen on Sunday. And, honestly, I would love to see Patrick Mahomes extend the play like he does. But I'm expecting it to be, again, different result, but kind of what we saw Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Kansas City a few years ago, where you have Patrick Mahomes scrambling around, trying to find open guys, which I believe he will. But I think it's going to be a close one, much closer than I think people will expect it to be. And I think Patrick Mahomes will definitely be a highlight reel game for him.
Before Jonathan goes, we just want to note that these two teams faced off in the Super Bowl in 2020 right here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And then, just a couple months later, or a month later, COVID hit and the whole pandemic happened and we were shut down. But these two teams did face off in the Super Bowl, and Mahomes and the Chiefs at the better of the 49ers.
How am I going to put this? I got the 49ers because there's no way I'm not gonna even put the notion out there of them winning. I'm not even want to say their names because I think they're illegitimate. They're the most illegitimate team that have made it, bro.
Come on, don't be a hater though.
I am not gonna say their names.
Be real about the competition on the field.
Every time I'm gonna say his name though, Patrick Mahomes. In every Super Bowl, he has not really performed that well. Yes, they've won the game, but against Tampa Bay, he did not perform that well. In 2020, when they played the 49ers, it was because 49ers gave up. They didn't want to keep running the ball, so they gave him the opportunity. Like every Super Bowl he's been in, it hasn't been that great of a performance. So I'm expecting kind of what Brandon said, like a repeat of the Tampa Bay game where he's going to be running for his life because I think this is Shanahan's last chance at a chip. And guess what? If he learned from his mistakes, because he was also on that team that lost that 28-3 lead to my Patriots. So if he learns, if you have the lead and it's the middle of the third quarter, run the dang ball. Keep the ball away from this damn guy's hands, please. Learn from your mistakes. Run the dang ball. Keep it away from him. Run the time down. Get if you need to score a field goal, get the field goal. Don't go for no fourth downs, no nothing. Just get the points. If you can get points, get points. Don't turn over the ball. Brock Purdy, this is it right now, bro. We're about to find out if he's legit or not. This is the moment. This is the biggest moment in the entire year. If you're a fraud, you're a fraud. If you perform well, he's gonna get that extension.
Well, look, I think he's been squeaking by. I think that who has helped him really reach the Super Bowl has been Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would even argue because there are even some – I mean, I know it wasn't here the last week, but in the last few drives of the Lions game for San Fran, Brock Purdy extending the play using his legs throughout that game, that's something I never seen out of Brock personally. Like, I don't know. He's getting that dog in him a little bit. Mr. Irrelevant is currently – I mean, he's irrelevant right now.
Are you telling me that you're switching up on Brock Purdy?
I'm trying to switch up. I still don't believe that look, I'm a part of the Jimmy Garoppolo hive, right? The Jimmy G hive. If Brock Purdy wins this Super Bowl, that proves everything right about what the media tells us about Jimmy G. And I can't have that. I won't have that. All right? So, again, Kyle Shanahan, insane offensive mind. And funny enough that Jonka does mention about the 28-3 comeback from New England. It is the anniversary of that today. But I don't know. I mean, again, it's going to be a really close game. I still think that, San Fran doesn't have much of a shot on it just because offensively, I just can't imagine Kansas City allowing them to just move down the field with ease, right? I mean, this is an experienced team. As Danny put it, has been there, But, look, either one or two things are going to happen. Either Patrick Mahomes' dad is going to come off a bail and pop up, or Travis Kelce is popping that question in front of Taylor. So avert your eyes if you're against watching Taylor Swift for 25 seconds. But, I mean, it's undeniable. It's undeniable.
I gotta say, I think the dark horse, or like the, how do you say, the one that's gonna make the biggest difference.
Which that was gonna be my next question. My next question was gonna be what Jonka's about to state. What do you think is gonna be the biggest factor in this game?
Brandon Ayuk. Book it.
I would even say former game. Kadarius Toney coming back into the roster, and I know people talk about his hands.
Okay.
I know what the resume holds. But damn it, man, he's in a Super Bowl again. He's gonna get it done. Before, I can easily just sway my way and say Deebo Samuel, right? But I'm telling you right now, Kansas City's gonna lock in defensively. Patrick Mahomes is gonna find an open guy scrambling. It's got to be Toney.
I'll say something to that.
Okay, but
I'll tell you this much.
Before we go ahead, I would just want to say one part, because I think it might not be very big. Again, I'm not like an NFL coach guy, anything like that. But what I would assume, with them not being on the roster for the amount of postseason games, you don't have a lot of recent stuff to look at back on film. So they might have some new stuff. He might be cooking. Andy Reid might be cooking something for Toney. We don't know yet. But that's what I'm assuming.
If, let's say it's true and Kadarius Toney does have a big game, I think Kadarius Toney should be nominated as comeback player of the year after what he did a couple of weeks ago, stepping over the line on the line infringement. I think that would be funny.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but here's my factor. I think this is going to be a tight end battle. I think this is going to be Kittle versus Kelce.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think whoever performs better, and I really think that the connection between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is gonna outlast Brock Purdy and Kittle. Is gonna push the Chiefs over the edge.
I think because the 49ers have more weapons, I think that's going to leave, like you said, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, McCaffrey open.
Debo is not 100% healthy. I will say that.
He's going to try his best. He's going to put some anesthesia. He's going to try. I don't know what else he needs, bro. He's going to go out there.
Yeah,
Bro,
self-revive kit.
Yeah, but what I would say though, because I forgot his name, the running back, number 10 for Kansas City. What is it? Pacheco.
Yeah.
Pacheco, man. See, that's another guy you also got to look at for Kansas City, because if it's just Kelce getting locked in, double coverage every single route, I mean, run the damn ball. Do whatever you have to do. But that kid can run, though. As funny as it looks, he can run hard.
Yeah.
If the 49ers defensive line can stop Pacheco, because we saw with the Ravens that they couldn't stop him. That's how they were going down the field. It wasn't Kelce. It wasn't anybody else. It was Pacheco going like 10 yards a carry the whole entire game. If the D-line can hold him to less than 5, it's going to be hard for Patrick Mahomes to go down the field, especially, which I know that they're going to be targeting Kelce a lot because they're going to be hitting him extra hard on Sunday.
I will say, if the Chiefs, again, I don't know how you guys feel about this, if the Chiefs take Christian McCaffrey out of the game, and what I mean by out of the game is he cannot do anything, cannot produce, Chiefs win the game. You take Christian McCaffrey out of that offense and limit him, I don't see the 49ers doing much.
If he can't run the ball,
If he can't run, I don't see the 49ers doing much.
I would assume they'd use him for like screenplays or something.
Because look what the Lions did. Lions took him out of the ball game the entire first half, and 49ers couldn't do jack.
And then the second half happened.
Well, he came alive, and look, I don't know what happened in that game against the Lions. I don't mean to revert back to that, but maybe they got too confident, and they let their foot off the pedal, and McCaffrey's like, all right, look, these guys let their foot off the gas and off our necks, and now I'm just going to run the ball. And that destroyed them. But this is KC we're talking about, not Detroit. Detroit hasn't been in the Super Bowl. KC has multiple times. They know what they're doing. So I think they'll be well prepared. And again, I take Andy Reid over Shanahan. Andy Reid will have those guys prepared.
No, yeah, same here. And again, love Kyle Shanahan. I mean, play action, and especially that 2017 Atlanta team. I still think that's one of the best offensive teams I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, it's Andy Reid by a mile.
Oh, 1,000%. I agree. So I know Brandon's going Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs, and Jonka's gonna go 49ers.
49ers.
Psh, what a clown, bro.
Me clown.
Bro, he's just hating, man. He's just hating. That's why it's his pick.
You know that game was rigged against the Ravens. You know it was rigged.
Bro, you know what?
You know what? I'm not even. Look, here's the issue, right? Because I don't know about everyone out there watching this episode today, right? But for everyone that's Broward County based, this was an entire rigged against Fort Lauderdale AFC Championship. That was last week. I kid you not, right? I kid you not. The first exact play being a Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson connection was beautiful. And then it's like Zay Flowers cost him a touchdown. Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson can't connect for like a potential tying late fourth quarter touchdown, gets intercepted in the end zone. I mean, it's Broward County. I mean, they're just going the whole county.
Bro, there were so many holding calls, bro, that were against the Ravens, and then no holding calls against the Chiefs when they were holding basically the whole entire game. Bro, it was like you could just tell it was so one-sided.
Give me a score. Brandon.
Okay, if we're going to be realistic, we're probably going to go ahead and say 27-24 Kansas City.
I'm going to go 30-24 Kansas City.
30-24? I'm going to go 38-27 27.
38 points in the Super Bowl?
Take the over, guys. Take the over.
38-27.
You on some shrooms or something, bro. If you think it's going to be 38-27, you really think it's not going to be a close game. Get out of here, bro.
It's only 11 points.
Bro.
Yeah.
A touchdown is 7.
There's no way it's going to be an 11-point game.
Look, honestly, I would rather have that and then a 7-3 outcome. So,
you guys, you were giving the damn Patriots and the Rams game heat for it being a defensive Super Bowl.
Well,
an offensive Super Bowl, and you're complaining.
The Patriots are boring, bro. They're a bunch of nobodies that nobody even knows who they are, and they just somehow,
And now they're giving you somebodies, and they're scoring, and now you're complaining that too.
Who?
Look, all that I know is
somebody.
The 49ers, McCaffrey.
Ain't no way they're scoring 38 points in the Chiefs, bro.
Look, if you ask me if they're scoring 38 points on the Chiefs,
I said
one
prediction.
thing only. Brock Purdy touchdown day.
I'll put money on it.
That they don't score 38?
Or 38. I'll put money on that.
I mean, it's a prediction. Who knows? You don't even know what's going to happen.
No, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know they probably won't score 38.
Okay, good for you.
All right, then put money on it. Put money where your mouth is. Let's do it.
I said I think that's what they're gonna. I didn't say it's gonna happen. I said that's what I think.
We're going Hard Rock bet right now.
He's a flake, bro. He's a flake. He's a flake.
I'm putting the over on the game. I'm putting Brock Purdy's 2.5 plus touchdowns, and you best believe Patrick Mahomes 250 yards passing over.
See, that's a good take. That's respectable.
I would love the ideal 30.
Yeah, obviously, that's an easier goal than 38 points. I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be an explosive game.
The point is about being realistic, not about fantasy. This is not Magic Kingdom.
If it happens, then don't come at me.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know. I mean,
I won't. I'm coming at you right now, telling you let's make a bet, and you don't want to. You're being like your brother today.
My brother's a bitch.
All right, so we got our scores. Let's move on to the next topic. There's so much I wanted to say, but there's so much characters that Twitter gives you, so it wasn't enough for me. But U.S. women's national team player Lindsey Horan says that U.S. soccer fans aren't smart.
she might be right.
She may be right in the sense that, yes, soccer's not our main sport. I get it. Soccer has grown a lot in this country. And because we're stuck with MLS and NWSL, the American market and the American soccer fan watches European soccer. And they understand it. I just don't think it's a smart move for you to say the people who support you say they're not smart. What was not smart was going to New Zealand thinking like you were going to win the 3rd straight World Cup and then being embarrassed. That wasn't smart. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Those American fans that you're calling not smart, yeah, there was criticism, but they supported you through all of it. So I think for you to sit here and to put on the uniform of the United States and call the people that you represent not smart, that in itself is not a smart move. And it just gives me a burning fire inside me because, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what's the point of that? What's the point of saying that publicly? If you have that opinion, keep it to yourself. But you're only going to put yourself in hotter water. And, anytime something happens with the U.S. women's national team, because they're already controversial as it is with all their opinions, because, look, they're world champions. They're a great, soccer federation, the women's program. But anytime one of these players talks on the national team, it always seems to be something that's controversial and always bringing in hot water. Why can't we just shut up for once, play some soccer, and prove it because we got wiped through the mud in that World Cup. I don't think this is time for talking. I think this is time for playing. So I think we need to shut up and we need to play some soccer and get back to being number one.
Yeah.
Right now, the rest of the world, and I don't know if it'll ever be the same, Brandon, because the rest of the world is caught up.
No, yeah, absolutely. And again, I will totally agree, especially from them coming into that World Cup, super cocky as it is.
Yeah.
And being, taken out, not even a third place finish, final finish.
Yeah.
I mean, barely even making out. But what I would say is this. I mean, again, we live in a country where all these athletes are able to speak their minds. They're able to go ahead and talk about, whatever they want. And, at the end of the day, as Americans, we got to support that. But what I would say in the sense of building soccer in the United States, it's not the right move to do it. It's not really the right timing to do that at all. And, in the sense of context of what the question was, context or whatever it was, I mean, let's be real. It was just a cheap shot to the United States men's fans. And, of course, those who are a majority of fans in the United States for soccer. Again, I support her opinion. I just disagree with her opinion.
Yeah.
And again, I would admit myself, I'm an average soccer American fan. I don't know nothing, right? I don't really know much. I just know about specific teams I watch internationally, and then, of course, Inter Miami.
Yeah.
And, the per usual United. But yeah, I mean, just to conclude it, just terrible timing. Terrible on her part.
I love Lindsey Horan. I think she's a great player. I really love her. But, if you're trying to grow the game in this country, you're trying to grow MLS, or you're trying to grow NWSL, gee, do you think the people who are trying to get into it, who just get called stupid and not smart, are going to be like, all right, this lady's on TV, I'm not going to watch her?
Yeah. And it's all a business. It's all a business. I mean, you're going to take away that viewership just based on some comments, I mean, male soccer fans turn into women's soccer fans and vice versa. It's always a one-way road. The game expands over different genders, race, social classes. I mean, it's the world's game. So you can't just take away a part of it or, make fun of a part of it, especially in your own country.
And it frustrates me is that, yes, the women's team is fantastic. They've won World Cups. The men's team, they're getting better. I think this is the best roster that they've had ever, to be honest with you. But in this game, we don't always have to be the ones that are trying to change something, Again, it's like every time that they say something, it's always some controversy or it's never anything positive. It's always something that's going to be news headlines and it's causes a debate. You look at other players from other countries, and especially towards their fans, they respect the hell out of their fans.
Yeah.
And they support their fans. So what are we doing here? Just trying to tear down our fan base here and calling them not smart. It baffles my mind. I don't get it. Jonka?
Yeah, it just seems like every time we hear a U.S. women's national team player say something, it's just always negative. It's starting to think like every player has a motive on this team. Each one has their own unique motive. And this is why it's just each one has their own timing. Like they have like a little pager say, okay, it's your turn. Okay, what month? Okay. Yeah, this one I'm gonna say this month, this next month. All right. Like they time it, bro. I don't understand what's going on with this team. Like you get whooped in the World Cup like that, and then you continue to create news. Well, negative news, by the way. Like put something out positive, bro. Like, okay, yeah, I love my teammates. The team's heading in the right direction. I think we're gonna fix what we're gonna go back and win it this time. No, there's nothing ever. I never hear anything like that. It's always something with their own motives, their own political views, their own thoughts about something that happened, and it's always something controversial because that's how they have to be because we're underpaid, we're not as good as the guys. It's always something with this damn team, and it's getting on my nerves already. It's really getting on my nerves, and I know the majority of the watchers are men, and when the men see this and they keep hearing like damn like how do you say, excuses, it just like it drives us off. To me, it just drives me off. Like I don't feel like watching you with your attitude and how you watch the game that I love to watch. 90 minutes of you watching, and then you're the one just complaining. They're saying, "Oh no, this is crap."
It's almost like an attitude adjustment. I mean, just with the body language of the World Cup, you're out there, you're filming TikToks, you barely get past the group stage, you're out there smiling, taking selfies, doing more TikToks. Every year, every World Cup is a new World Cup and a new challenge. You have to go in there ready to play. You're not going to walk in there thinking you're already a champion just because of your past, because of what you've done, because of what other great American women have paved the way for you to be a part of. You got to keep that standard. And, keep the main thing the main thing. Like, yes, you can have your things outside of soccer, but when it comes to soccer, focus on the soccer and getting the job done. It's just like Jonka said, it's just extremely frustrating. I think this is a time in the U.S. women's national team where they should be saying, hey, we want to get back to the top to where we were. Let's rally the troops. Let's get our fans behind us. And, let's get this thing done again. Let's get back to being number one in who we are as a federation. Instead of, our fans are not smart. It's getting harder, I think, to support this team. I think, yes, there's always going to be, at this point, I think it's 50-50. There's going to be a one side that's like, I'm always going to support no matter what. And obviously there's us who we're in sports. We work in sports. We're on the media side of things, journalistic side of things. It's kind of our job to watch. And then there's the other side of, I'm so tired of hearing all of these stuff. And I just want to see them win and perform. I don't want to watch these people anymore. So I think it's at 50-50. And I think it can get worse if they just keep saying those sort of things.
The only thing that's benefited the women's national team is that Rapinoe has finally retired. And so they have one less idiot on the field.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. That's your
did nothing on that field, bro.
That is your opinion. Yes, she has gotten older. Yes, she missed that penalty. Yes, but at the end of the day, she is an American legend in the women's game. Do I agree with her stances, her personal stances? No, I don't. Is it annoying to me? Yes, it is. But at the end of the day, she did have a good career. She is an American legend. So I have to give her credit on that end.
Yeah, her career is a for U.S. women's is great, but at the end it just became more, like I said before, more of her political views and her stances. And she was just pushing that wherever she went, no matter what country she went to, no matter what their cultures are, she just had to push her own agenda. And I think that just made me frustrated with the team.
Understood.
Like no one cares, bro. Just play soccer, bro. Damn. Why did it, bro? It's the same. I'm not gonna get into it. Let's move on.
Brandon, you have any final thoughts on that?
Rapinoe and Sue Bird are like a power couple of WNBA, so you got to respect that. But no comments besides that.
Okay. So we'll leave that topic there, and then we'll go into what has been a marketing nightmare, has been a PR nightmare, has been a preseason nightmare. And we're talking about Inter Miami. They went on this global world tour for preseason. They played El Salvador national team. That was a 0-0 draw. Then they went to Texas, played FC Dallas. That was a 1-0 loss. Then they get to the Saudi Arabia aspect of the tour, which intrigued a lot of people. They were playing the best two teams in Saudi Arabia, which is Al Hilal and Al Nassr. And against Al Hilal, not a great performance at all. And you guys hear preseason, okay, but yes, they still have all the stars out there. They had Luis Suarez, they had Messi, they had Busquets, they had Alba. They had all the stars out there, all the starters, Drake Callender. They lost to Al Hilal 4-3. Then they go on to Al Nassr, which is Cristiano Ronaldo's team. He wasn't playing Messi didn't play until the final 10 minutes of that game, but just an embarrassing 6-0 loss. The Saudi crowd was hostile towards Messi and Inter Miami, obviously with Cristiano Ronaldo being there. And then to put on top of it, yeah, they got their first preseason win 4-1 over the national team of Hong Kong. But they were booed off the field. 40,000 people booed Inter Miami and David Beckham while he was giving a speech, because those 40,000 fans, let's just be honest. Do you really think if Messi wasn't there, do you really think that those 40,000 fans in Hong Kong would have paid to see Inter Miami? No, probably not. Those 40,000 people paid good money to see Messi. And it wasn't announced at all that he wasn't going to play. It was a match day decision right before. Oh, okay, well, hey, guess what, guys? Messi's not going to play. On top of Messi not playing, Suarez didn't play. Alba and Busquets were subs later on. So they got booed off the field. People were chanting refund during the middle of the game, and people are asking for refunds. The promoter is trying to give people their money back. There was just rumors going around that Inter Miami was going to cut the preseason short, cancel the Japan part of the tour, and come back home because Messi's dealing with a hamstring injury. But they are going through with the game against Japan. It's not going to be televised. It is this Wednesday at 5 a.m. before they return home to play Messi's childhood team, Newell's. That's here in Miami. And that's right before the season starts, actually. But, oh, man, listen. I've told Jonka many times, and this is to the ownership group. And you guys know I used to be part of the organization. You guys know I have been very critical of this club since I left and the way that they do things. You spending all this money on these forwards, ex-Barcelona players. First of all, what is our identity? What is our club identity? I don't see a club identity right now. What I see is, all right, we're just grabbing Barcelona players and just putting them on our team. I don't see that as a club identity. And then, yeah, again, you're spending money on all of these forwards, but you have no defense. And if you have no defense, it's going to be very hard for you to win games. And we saw that. These Saudi Arabian teams wiped the floor with Inter Miami because of their poor defense, and it was absolutely embarrassing. It's been an embarrassment of a tour. Obviously, I think my personal opinion is that they've been doing a lot of things for money, to get money. A lot of fans have been disappointed with a lot of decisions that the club has made. But this has been a PR marketing nightmare. With everything that has gone on. Again, the roster building. I still don't think they have found the right coach. I don't think Tata Martino is the guy. This guy already came out after the 6-0 loss against Al Nassr and said, oh, we're tired. You just started preseason. What do you mean you're tired? The season hasn't even started. And then if this is the way preseason is going, I don't want to see when we get into MLS play and when we get into CONCACAF Champions League and when we get into Leagues Cup. I don't want to see how that's going to play out. And you take Messi out of the equation, when Messi's not on the field, team looks bad. Luis Suarez, you purchased him because you want to link him up with Messi and reform Barcelona. Guy has to get injected with how much pain he is to run. He said in a quote that it costs his body to play soccer with his kids. On this preseason tour, he has looked like a shell of himself of what he used to be. Definitely not in his prime. Had so many opportunities right in front of goal, from watching Luis Suarez from Ajax to Liverpool to Barcelona, even Atletico a couple years ago. Easy shots that he would have put in the back of the net. And just missing point-blank range. He is a shell of himself. He is not what he used to be, and this is what we're spending money on instead of fixing that back line. So I think it's going to be a very long season for Inter Miami. They continue to just want to get marketing and money through buying all of these ex-star players, but it's not going to work. And that's just my opinion.
Look, I'm going to just, because I have a lot of thoughts about this, but before I even dive in, for those Inter Miami fans, relax. All right? It's preseason. Inter Miami's always been terrible in preseason. The only difference is they're putting on TV. Now, in the sense of this being a PR stunt, this is actually one thing I really had a lot of fear about when Messi did join Inter Miami. The idea that this wouldn't be a club moving forward, but a club moving like a circus. It's just moving with one person and one name title. A lot of the teams and clubs out there in the MLS, they got this young star guy they're trying to basically build around. Before Messi comes around, it's like, it could be, Luis Morgan. It could be, Leo Campana. Now it's like these guys are regressing a little bit back on the roster. I mean, Campana had to change his whole number.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me. Again, I understand Suarez. I understand, the high standard that he brings to the club, even though he's less of that standard at this age. But it's been a terrible, terrible start, though, I have to say, for preseason. Like, the downfall of Drake Callender, because a lot of people want to talk about, Messi's injury. The traveling is messing up with all this stuff, and these guys just can't do it at this age. Look, Drake Callender, there should be no reason why there's 6 goals allowed. I mean, there was even one goal I remember in that game where you have the ball soaring almost for about 5 seconds into the back of the net with Drake Callender just step back 3 steps and falls. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for a guy like Drake Callender, who had one of the best seasons for a goaltender last season in the MLS and also being called into the team because of that. There's no reason to be like this preseason-wise. And again, as I said before, just the preseason. I think Tata's going to be able to readjust. We're just seeing the first few games of, Suarez and now this new roster come into play. So, fill out the kinks. But I just hate the idea of this is all just a marketing thing. I mean, I saw a clip from CNN on Twitter about one of the head guys who basically, I believe it's in Hong Kong, where they have this sort of like fan club with Argentina.
Yeah.
And he paid $2,000 for his seat. This was the highest ticketed soccer match in Hong Kong's history. And we're talking about a friendly. All right? A friendly.
Yeah.
And yet, Miami won very competitively, very confidently. And some of the other players that you probably won't even hear a lot of names of, they got a lot of time and good start. And, we saw a little bit. We saw a little bit what could happen later on this season. Robert Taylor even had an appearance.
Yeah.
But what I would say, though, definitely a terrible thing. I think they should have never done it before, just based off the travel-wise. You're expecting injuries just based off going, thousands of miles. I mean, guys are going to be exhausted. You're not going to have enough time to be on the field practicing. You're playing more. It's almost like an AAU team. You're playing more games than you're actually practicing. It's ridiculous, especially for guys like Inter Miami's roster, where you have, top players have been there, done that. But they need practice. Everybody needs practice, especially at their age. So I hate it. Obviously, I don't like the idea of being told, like, you saw Inter Miami's game? And I was like, yes, I saw Inter Miami's game. Thank you. But hopefully, Tata figures it out, scrub off the little dirt here and there that he sees, a little rust here and there, and then get ready for the season to start. But I think it's again, relax for the play. But I think the bigger picture of, what does the future for Inter Miami look like after these few years? I think that's the biggest thing I have on the back of my mind.
2 things, Brandon, before Jonka goes. One, getting Suarez kind of hinders Leo Campana's progress. I mean, he had a good year last year, and now he's just sitting on the bench because
insanely. I mean, we're talking about a top 3 scorer in the club's history.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I think, from last season, of course, besides the Messi factor and, Yedlin, I can live without Yedlin, to be honest.
Yeah.
But honestly, Robert Taylor and Campana had the biggest progression with Callender last season out of the entire roster on the team, in my honest opinion. And to see that they're kind of regressing those players just makes me kind of sick.
My second point is that not even the biggest clubs in the world are doing this. Like, Real Madrid comes to the United States, they play 3 or 4 games, and they go home.
Yeah.
These people are playing in El Salvador. They came back to Dallas. They played in Dallas. They went to Saudi Arabia, played 2 games there. They played in Hong Kong. Now they're going to Japan, and then they're coming back home and playing. What are we doing?
Yeah, what are you, Everton? What are we doing? Like,
A whole season before the season? Like, what are we doing? But again, this goes back to what Brandon was saying about the marketing. This is all a cash cow to go around the world, the opportunity for the club to cash in their money and come back home.
like a circus. It's ridiculous, you know?
100%. Jonka?
Oh yeah, what more can I say? I mean, I told like Daniel earlier last week when during the games that this is all a money grab. This is all Ponzi scheme. This is just for you to buy into the scheme. All right. We're gonna Messi's gonna come to play. Suarez, Busquets, Alba. Whatever. The whole 100 yards. But
Excuse me.
it's I don't know what Tata was doing the entire offseason when you can tell the second half of last season your problem was defense. You got rid of Miller, okay, but you didn't get rid of Kristoff, which I think he's not good at all. Other people think otherwise, but I think he's not good. I would maybe just put in some younger players, the ones that speedy that can actually recover if they get beat, not these old people. But and as for offensively, I would move Suarez back and put in Taylor and Campana. Let the two younger because Cormachi is going to be out for a couple months, so that hinders our offense a little bit. But still, put Robert Taylor, who he did good last year. He actually bloomed last season, and then you got Campana, who can actually create a chance for himself. I think last game he had a crazy shot, but it just didn't go in.
There's no in between with this team because you got really old players that are washed. In the middle, you got Messi. Messi's going to be Messi, regardless of age. And then you got teenagers who don't have any experience, but it's like there's no middle ground with the team.
Like,
shout out Kreminski.
Yeah.
Like while watching the game, the one in Hong Kong, I was watching the highlights because it was at 3 a.m. I was not going to watch that.
Yeah.
Julian Gressel, the new addition to the team,
had winner with
played really, really well. And he had like this nice cross, bro. It was like, bro, it was perfectly placed. Too bad the ball didn't go in. But I was just impressed. I would like to see Messi and him team up and then, have, like I said, Taylor and Campana there in front of, on the sides. And then, bro, that defense just, bro, honestly, go to England, go to Man City, go to Manchester United, get their youth groups, and I bet you can find some kid that can play defense for you as a loan. Something, bro. Like Vidal that plays for Chile. I bet if you want him, he usually just plays. That's his thing. He plays defense. I know he's a little bit older, but if you want to get old guys, get an old defensive guy then.
And I can tell you right now, a Brazilian who's still playing. He's at Fluminense, who is he's the most decorated Real Madrid player of all time. And he can still play. I'm talking about Marcelo. Would have been a great addition to defense.
I'll take Marcelo. I'll take everybody. Just give me every big name known to man that can actually play. Well, because I'm tired. I'm getting really tired of this Kristoff kid or guy because he's just like a Slenderman on defense. He just stands there.
Look, what they really need is another Breck Shea. That's all. I've been saying it for years.
I agree with you.
Bring in Breck Shea back. Please get another like random Scandinavian, like Eastern European big man that just there to look good, But
and they never use McVay either. McVay is also good on defense, and they never use him.
Yeah, McVay's never good at all. And
honestly, they shipped him out.
Yeah. What I would say though, I can't even complain watching 2021 Inter Miami defense and Fagal. Yeah, I mean honestly, I don't think Inter Miami's ever had a good defense.
Yeah. But look, I want to give these last 5 minutes of the show tonight to Jonka. I think the term of the show tonight is what are we doing? I think that's been the term tonight. The Miami Marlins haven't made any offseason moves. But they're taking on their players in court in arbitration cases, which they just won against Jazz Chisholm Jr. You're not making offseason moves to make the team better, but you're taking on your star player in court. What are we doing? Janka, the floor is yours. You've got 5 minutes.
Let me cook. The damn owner, whatever his name is, or if I knew his name, I'm not gonna mention him because he doesn't deserve to be named. Needs to sell the damn team because his cheap butt does not want to buy anything, bro.
How many times?
He does not spend a dime. If he found a dime on the street, he will pick it up and put it in his pocket, and then won't give it away. You see a homeless guy asking for a penny? Nah, he'll get scissors and cut the penny in half, and then give you one half. This guy is terrible. The Royals just signed Bobby Witt Jr. to 11-year, $300 million contract. Cody Bellinger apparently now is finalizing a deal with the damn Phillies. Wow. Here we go.
Let me tell you. Yeah, Bryce Harper and Cody Bellinger on the same team in Philadelphia. Guess who's not going to win the division? Not going to be the Marlins.
And then now, was it the Padres just got Corbin Burns, the Cy Young winger, bro? And then now the Yankees are trying to make a payment for Blake Snell, the other Padres pitcher who also won a Cy Young award, bro. I don't know. I might lose my power. I don't know. Sell the damn team. I don't care who you have to offer. Offer it to Jeff Bezos, Mark Cuban, whatever billionaire you can name. Sell it, please. One that is willing to spend the money on players, actual damn players, because this team is a couple players away from actually being good. And now all of a sudden they're willing to trade Arias, Soler, Chisholm. Alcantara is out with a Tommy John surgery, so we have no relieving pitcher or starting pitcher. Who are you going to rely on now? You got Blake Snell, who still hasn't signed with a team yet. He's a good pitcher. No effort, no demand. No news whatsoever on the Marlins making any effort to anybody. And now somehow, some way, we went to FanFest, and the manager or the president had the audacity in front of all of those Marlins fans, those hungry Marlins fans that want to see this team effing prosper. Here's to say that we're headed in the right direction with a smile on his face. I never wanted to smack a guy so hard in the face more than I wanted to do in that moment, Brandon.
And my favorite is the political response when somebody asked, because they had a fan Q&A. Someone asked, when are we going to make any offseason moves? Which, by the way, the offseason's almost over. We're about to start spring training. His response, there's a couple good players still out on the market. Like, that is the typical, GM political response.
No, yeah. It's getting ridiculous. Let's give it to Jorge Mas. Have those a bunch of guys coming in. What I also would say is also the fact that the Caribbean series just finished off.
Yep.
And it's man, a lot of them players look good. A lot of them players also look available. Bring them in.
And there's potential. Look how the stadium looked. There is potential. This is a baseball town. But if you give them a bad product, like it has been for years, no one's going to go.
Yep.
I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it again. The Marlins could have a unique identity in baseball where they could be the epicenter of Latin American ball players. They can just bring them from their country, come and play for the Marlins, develop them, and then if they become good, you can use them in trades and leverage that and get better players. But no, they need to be the damn cheapest team. I would rather go for the A's than the damn Marlins right now.
Hey, they're moving
to one to Las Vegas. I'd rather celebrate and lose in Vegas than lose in Miami.
Hey man, you go across the street to the casino and go to the casino and do something, go see some shows at a hotel or whatever. I mean,
I would spend my dollar on rather than a ticket than put it in a slot machine.
Look, I don't know. Honestly, as long as Miami still got those $8 tickets at Marlins Park, I'm not complaining.
Well, guys, that's gonna do it for us tonight. ending off this evening with some Marlins talk. Again, we thank you guys for tuning in, week out. Next week's episode is going to be great. It's post Super Bowl, so I'm sure we'll have lots to talk out and see if our predictions came true, if the 49ers did score 38 points or not, according to Jonka. But we'll see. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all the support. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. Follow all of our content. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you for episode 127. Enjoy Super Bowl week.